Yo,
What's up, Rudy?
what up, Rob?
All right, welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Biggers. Alongside me will be Rudy Gutierrez, Robert Alexander, and Hector Gomez. Tonight we have special guest, Francisco Santana. How's it going, Francisco?
It's going well, man. I'm just here at home spending some time with my wife and my little daughter.
All right. We want to congratulate you right away on one hell of a fight, man.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
This isn't the first time Jose Benavidez Jr. got away with this. He had a really close fight with Mauricio Herrera and got the nod there as well. It has to be frustrating.
Yeah, man. You know, as a fighter and as a competitor, it always stings a little, especially the competitor that's in me. I always want to win, and I hate losing. And last night I feel like I didn't lose. I felt like I actually won. I felt like I won yesterday. But the judges saw it differently. But it's part of it's boxing, and it's part of life. We live and learn, and it's gonna be hard for me to move past this. But I have to carry on with my career and continue with fulfilling my ultimate goal, and that's to be a world champion.
Well, you do and you don't. I mean, you can definitely go after a rematch.
I want one, of course. First fight is competitive, but I think that he wants bigger names from what last time that I heard. If he presents himself, and if he top rank maybe gets us down the line again, I will be more than ready. This time around, I will already been there with him once, as he already tasted a little bit of me, and I will make sure that the outcome is a lot different.
All right. I'm going to go to some other writers here. Another writer actually wrote one article about your fight here, Hector Gomez. I believe, Hector, you had it a draw. I had it actually 1.4 Francisco, but clearly it was a closer fight than what the scorecards led on. But Hector, go ahead.
Yeah, what goes through your head, man, when you hear a score of 190 in a fight like that?
Honestly, I just felt like I should have just stayed home and watched my fight at the house. Because, when you hear, 190, 90, 92, it's more like, I don't know, I could have done, I don't know what else I could have done to go that decision that night, other than knocking Benavidez out. But, it was kind of tough because he didn't really let me. He wasn't really there to fight. It's what I feel like. It's more like, he does like to be on the ropes a lot, and it's absurd. For me, I find it is absurd how somebody can just lay on the ropes for 2 minutes of basically each round, and then decides to throw a punch here and there, but basically just lays there for the majority of the round, and then occasionally we'll just do a quick little flurry, and then that's that. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's life, it's boxing, and we live and learn from it.
Well, where do you go from here?
I gotta wait. Right now I'm just taking some time off with my family. I, of course, the fighter in me, I want to fight again. I want to get back in there as soon as possible, just because I want to take this sour taste that was left in me this past Saturday. I gotta wait and see what my manager, Frank Espinosa, and what Top Rank has in store for me. So I should be finding out something within the next week or so on where we go from here. I would like to fight again, maybe November, December, before the end of the year. I'd like to get back in the ring and fight again. You know, whether it's a rematch, and if it's not him, then maybe someone, I don't know, like along the lines of a Michael Brado or someone like that. Where we both can kind of give the fans a beautiful fight.
Okay. That's all I got, isn't it?
All right. Rob, take it open whenever you're ready. Rob.
Hey, Santana. Always a pleasure speaking to you. My first question for you, you came out in this fight swinging. You did as well in the Saddam Ali fight.
I'm sorry, it was kind of hard to hear you real quick. Can you repeat it?
You came out swinging, and you did against Saddam Ali as well. Can you tell us what your mindset is going into fights like these, coming out swinging like you do?
Well, you know what? The reason I come out like that is because of the type of fighter that I'm facing. You know, many people actually don't know my real style. They always really go back, and the very few fights that I've been on TV, I've been forced to kind of basically come forward and be that pressure fighter. But if it was up to me, my natural style and my comfort zone is being able to sit back and counterpunch, and basically having someone come to me and run them up into some shots. But with the fighters like a Benavidez, who is much taller, a little faster, and has that longer reach than me, I can't really lay back. I'm basically fighting his fight. And a fighter like Saddam Ali, who is definitely a lot faster than I am and a little more agile than I am, that's also me fighting his type of fight. So, against those two fights, I was forced to fight a way that I'm not really comfortable. But you know what? That's just me as a fighter. I gotta make sure that I'm a well-rounded fighter, and they, people always think that I'm just a brawler, but I'm more than just that. My natural style is to counterpunch, is to make them miss and make them pay. But against fighters like Saddam Ali and Benavidez, I think they're a little better than me when it comes to that aspect. So I gotta basically fight what they don't like to do, and that's I know they like to box, and they don't like to brawl. So I'll make sure that I want to make them do what they're not comfortable, and that's make them fight my fight. But yeah, I think that's why it's more like that's why I had to come out swinging for those two fights, because again, I mean, I think I was eager for a knockout. I think it's what it was, either for a knockout or for a stoppage or to win very, very convincingly. Because like it had like this past Saturday, because it's pretty close. I wasn't going to get the decision, and I think it happened again this past Saturday. But we live and learn, and we only get better, and we move past it, we move forward, and now we gotta see what Top Rank has in store for me.
I think we lost Rob.
Yeah, well, we did. But Rudy, you have any questions for Francisco?
Nah, man. I mean, it's just humbling hearing him speak and him being humble in defeat. You know, I appreciate the fact that he's not making up excuses. He's admitting that some of his rivals are better than him in some ways in terms of agility, quickness, and I mean, and like how Francisco said, unfortunately, this is boxing, and when the business side of boxing gets involved, I mean, we get bullshit calls like this.
Yeah.
You said it. You said it right, man. You know, it's boxing. Sometimes those we're not in control of the judges. Our only thing that we're in control is during the fight. And while we're in the fight, we do everything to our power to come out victorious. And I can assure you one thing: I let everything in the ring that night, and looking back, if I could have done anything different, I don't know. I don't know if I could have done anything different, because even if I would have, I probably still would have gotten a position anyway. So
take a bat.
I'm sorry.
Take a bat in the ring next time, maybe.
Yeah, man.
All right, looks like Rob's back. Rob, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, so my next question is, you pretty much took all of his best shots. Is that something that you think should be relayed somehow in judging, to where the judges kind of take in consideration you being able to take all the shots and all the punishment and still being able to trade with him?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Because I'm not a judge. I'm just a fighter. He did, he stunned me in the second round, with the right uppercut, but I was never once badly hurt where I was gonna go down or my leg buckle or any of that. I was never, out of my senses or badly hurt. I have a good chin, and I do take a pretty good shot. So, and I think that always plays in my favor. But there's sometimes can play against me because, sometimes it's more like I try not to be like someone like a Brandon Rios, and I try not to be like him. Where he likes to get hit. Who likes to get hit? At the end of the day, I want to live till I'm really old and want to see my children grow really old and have grandchildren and that and so forth. But one thing I do have a good chin, and it's gonna take more than just one punch to put me out. And if you hit me, you give me hurt. Believe I'm gonna come right back, and that's my natural instinct as a fighter, is to retaliate and get it back. Basically, if you hit me, I'm gonna try to get it right back. So that's basically what happened. And again, I thought I won, but I was closer than what the judges felt today, I guess, that night.
Okay. I know that one of the fighters that Benavidez mentioned that he would like to face would be Jessie Vargas. With you in the ring with a guy like Saddam Ali, who, of course, lost to Vargas, do you think Benavidez has a chance at possibly beating a guy like Jessie Vargas?
Honestly, I don't think so. But, it is boxing. I also don't. It's a sport that you don't know what you're gonna get. Styles makes fights. So obviously you've seen what Jesse Vargas did to Saddam Ali and what I couldn't do. So like I said, styles make fights. So if they were to fight, I'll probably be rooting for Jesse because he's a friend of mine, and I have the utmost respect for Jesse. But may the best man win that night if that happens. And I would definitely like to fight Benavidez at some point again, and so, or the winner, you know, even though Jesse's my friend, you know, but nevertheless, I gotta get back on the winning streak, and I gotta get back in the ring, and before I feel like I'm in any right to start calling people out again.
We like the sound of that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I definitely want to get back in there. That's whether, you know, whoever Top Rank wants to put me back. You know, talks of Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios. Well, I think Brandon Rios is basically. I think his contract's up with Top Rank, but you know, someone with that we can give the fans a good fight. You know.
Definitely.
Do you have a 3-fight contract with Top Rank? Is that right?
What?
Did you have a 3-fight contract with Top Rank or something like that? I heard, or is that correct?
I have a 4-year contract. I'm in a year contract. I'm with him for a long run.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So I mean, basically, I'm more than likely I'm going to end my career with Top Rank.
Okay.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you coming on, Francisco. Always good to talk to you, and definitely look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man. And everybody that's tuned in and listening, I'll be back. So hopefully before the end of the year.
All right. Good to hear.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Man.
Yeah. Have a good day.
You too, brother. Have a good night.
I mean, there's a saying in Mexican boxing that says the best judge is the knockout, and you know, unfortunately, that's something that doesn't, you know, come far too often, especially in fights where, you know, close fights where judges just have it, you know, they're not even watching the fight. They're just like, fuck it, let me just give this guy 10 points automatic.
My question to that, though, would be, just like I asked Santana, though, why do you think judges aren't really looking at these guys taking all these punches and really, you know, shrugging their shoulders with the type of punches they're taking? They see it as, you know, they're the more aggressive fighter because they're throwing all these punches, but it really ain't doing nothing.
Right. I mean, and that's the whole debate that, I mean, shit that all boxing fans have. I mean, when you look, like, for example, when you look at, if you go back and you look at the De La Hoya Trinidad fight, I mean, fucking De La Hoya was landing and throwing way more punches than Trinidad, yet Trinidad won. And then you have other fights where, like, for example, Canelo Trout, where Canelo's just there sitting in the ropes, throwing 1 punch, 2 punches every 10 minutes, however long, and he gets the decision. I mean, it just depends on what kind of a judge you get that night, you know?
I mean, the thing is, though, 100 to 90, that's just being blatantly dishonest, man. You know, there were rounds in that fight where Santana landed the entire round, and Benavidez was on the ropes, and they were just really, I'd say there was about 3 rounds where they were just clearly Santana rounds. Like, I don't see how you could see it any other way. Now, I scored it a draw, but 100 to 90 it's a joke, man. Like, that's not even, there's not even any shame in, like, trying to hide it, you know? Like, it's crazy.
And it's a big problem in boxing. I mean, like you said, it's one thing to have it a close loss and see it for Benavidez. It's a whole nother for 190. I mean, that's just uncalled for, and it does nothing but hurt the sport. And honestly, these judges should be looked at and ask them, go through the thing. What did you see? What were you scoring on? Was ring generalship? You know, badger them a little bit until
I mean, if they give you a logical explanation and you got the evidence to back it up, then all right, cool, you know.
Right.
But some of these judges, it seems like they already filled out their cards even before they sat ringside, and no one ever questions them. No, they're not held accountable for their decision. I mean,
It's sad, really. It is. Well, let's go on from that because we could do that all night. We've done it on many other nights. I want to talk about Terence Crawford's performance. Now, personally, I think it was a brilliant performance. I do. I don't think Postol's that kind of measuring stick that you can say, okay, he's ready for Pacquiao. Or am I wrong, Hector?
It's really different. I mean, I think it's kind of hard to compare Postol and measure him at all with Pacquiao just because of the style we're talking about. I mean, we knew that when they were building this award that this was not going to be a war. I mean, we have two tactical fighters, and, you know, the one who's the most technically skilled and athletic won. You know, that's why I think a fight with Pacquiao would be totally different. And I'll say this, man, I almost guarantee that Crawford knocks Pacquiao out. I'm telling you. I can almost guarantee it because the one thing that Terence Crawford has is the ability to adapt. And I haven't seen that in a lot of people. His ability to adapt and start timing his opponent is pretty much incredible, man. And I think eventually he's gonna get Pacquiao's timing down, and he's gonna catch him coming in, and he's gonna put him out. You know, like Marquez. Maybe not as dramatically as Marquez did, but I think Crawford knocks him out, man. That's the way I see it right now.
Oh, that's a big statement, Hector. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Crawford's a brilliant fighter, but to come and say you're going to knock out a guy, he hasn't really fought a pound-for-pound fighter. Now, Postol's a good fighter, but he's not considered pound-for-pound. Honestly, I think Bradley can give Crawford a run for his money. And, I mean, Pacquiao, even though I think he's on the slide. I mean, I've seen him, you know, look worse as time goes on, but still, he made Bradley look pretty bad.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be as bold as Hector and say Crawford knocks him out, but I could definitely see him getting a decision. I mean, shit, they gave Bradley a decision over Pacquiao, you know what I mean? And Crawford is, to your conventional boxing fan, Crawford is a lot more exciting, right? He and let's face it, he's a top-ranked, rising, you know, moneymaker right now, and that's a good fight, and I could see him get a decision over Pacquiao, but Pacquiao's Pacquiao, man. You know what I mean? You can't rule that guy out yet.
Yeah, and you know, he hasn't fought a style similar to it. He hasn't fought a guy that moves and comes in at angles like Pacquiao does. It is really hard to say. I mean, I think Crawford is the future, and maybe you guys are right because it sounds like people are saying that Pacquiao should avoid him. Rob, what's your take on all this? Being quiet.
But with having him just fought, Crawford's ready to fight Pacquiao tonight. That fight should be made immediately. He's not the future, he's the present. And I want to touch on the subject in a little bit here about Terence Crawford and how good he is. Postol was to date the best opponent that they say he has ever faced, and he destroyed the guy, make him look like minced meat out there. Okay, and it was a Floyd-esque performance. So let's face it, a guy of that caliber just makes his opponents look like dog shit.
But I mean,
can you tell he's my new favorite fighter?
Apparently, and people are already comparing him to Mayweather and saying he has Mayweather styles. So I can see why you like him, Rob.
Yes, he is Floyd Jr. That's his new nickname.
I'll give it to him this way. I would much rather see a Crawford fight than a Floyd Mayweather fight. However, he does not have near the defensibility that Mayweather once had. I mean, he got lit up those first few rounds. Let's not get it twisted now, guys.
By
Those
Postol?
first, yeah, even with Postol, those first 4 rounds. I mean, those were draw probably, but you could see 3-1 through the first 4 for Postol. Then he catches on. See, now with him starting that slow against Pacquiao, I'm not sure. It'd probably be 0-4. So he's going to have a deficit already to make up. And if you're doing 0-4 against a guy like Postol, which again, he is a good fighter, but he's not an elite type fighter, and you know Pacquiao's going to win at least 1 or 2 rounds from 4 on, that's a draw right there. Plus Pacquiao brings more money, equals 2 more rounds given to him. I don't see a way that he can win a decision. I see the smile, Rude.
This is the problem with judging right here. Everybody at ringside, including me, only had Postol winning 1 round, the whole entire fight. And that was round 1.
Even though the first 4?
Even through the first 4, most of the people had him winning maybe 1 of the first 4.
I had it 2-2.
Yeah, the 2-2. Yeah. Most people had it 2-2. I personally had it 3-1, but I can see 2-2. But and I mean very easily, one of those were a good swing round. But regardless, like I said, I mean he's a slow starter and he gets tagged. I mean he did the same thing against Lundy. Got tagged really bad early in that fight and lost some of the first few rounds. You can't do that against a guy like Pacquiao. That's all I'm saying. He's good and he's powerful, but I don't know if he'd be able to take him out. Marquez landed nearly the perfect punch. I don't know if it can land anything better than that. I mean, it was flush, right when it needed to be, timed when it needed to be timed. It was damn near perfect. I don't think it's gonna happen again. He can drop him, sure, but knock him out is a different story.
Well, I see this going similar to, and I know they're not the same really, but the Gamboa fight, you know, where he had trouble dealing with his speed early, but again, once he adapted and once he started to time Gamboa coming in, he was just lighting him up. So that's just kind of the way I see the fight with Pacquiao going, where in the early rounds he struggles with the speed, but I think eventually, you know, Crawford's crazy like that. Whenever he starts to adapt and when he starts to kind of get the timing down, it's game over. You know, with Postol it was the same thing. Postol couldn't even throw a jab. He was, I mean, it was like Crawford's a special fighter, so I think, I mean, he could definitely knock him out. I think he is gonna knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. It was some spectacular counterpunching, something like I never seen before. I mean, before he could even extend his arm out, he was already getting hit with another one. I mean,
and one more thing, Postol's never gone down, ever, and Crawford put him on his ass. So I mean,
twice.
Crawford can punch too. And this is, he's a big puncher, man, and
partly opposition. Partly opposition.
Okay. Matisse, he took some big punches from Lucas Matisse.
He did. We're still, the question's still out on Matisse whether that was Matisse or not.
The guy, I mean, the guy's special. I mean, Crawford, he's special. Yeah, he's a slow starter. Maybe it has to do with the fact, you know, he's unexperienced still. You know, but the guy's special. I mean, when I see the last 4 fights that I seen him, I remember maybe the second fight when I saw him in HBO, I was like, another hype job, whatever. But nah, I think the dude's real, man. The dude's real, and you know, if they do make the Pacquiao fight, that's gonna be a great fight to watch. I mean, it's the type of fight that the fans win regardless.
I agree. I don't even care who wins because I want it to get signed. Now let's talk about the possibility of it being signed. Do you think going forward that this is something that is going to get signed? Personally, I do believe it will happen. The reason is because Pacquiao's options are really short, man. He's gone after some PBC fighters. They've turned him down. Bronner turned him down. Garcia turned him down. Rob, do you think the fight's going to happen?
It has to happen. You're right. That's the only opponent left for him to make a statement on this comeback from a retirement. When you announce you're going to come back from retirement like this, and we all know...
Has to be big.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be big. It doesn't get any bigger than Terence Crawford for me. I mean, we got people claiming that he may be top 3 pound for pound.
I want to put him on the pound for pound list. I think he is. It all depends on how you rank your pound for pound, whether it's something they've done or it's something that you believe that they think they'll be able to do. And I definitely think he's top 10 pound for pound for sure. But going forward with Pacquiao, and if people are saying that he can't fight him or he shouldn't, it's probably going to make him want to do it even worse. After you agree with Rob, you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it has to happen. Like Rob said, I don't think the other option is what, Jessie Vargas. You know, I don't think that's really a big enough fight for his comeback fight or whatever you want to call it. I think it definitely has to be Crawford, and it makes perfect sense. It's the perfect time to do it. You know, this is kind of the passing the torch kind of fight that comes along every time. You know, you have an aging, legend fighting. You know, this type of fight happens, and Crawford's the present. Like Rob said. So
that's kind of what I said on my article, heavybackboxing.com. Go ahead and check it out there. But Bob Arum's in dire need of that new pound for pound guy, especially with Pacquiao on his way out. He needs a new cash cow. On the rise right now is Terence Crawford and Lomachenko, and I really like Lomachenko, but I don't think the fans are going to take to him like they have with Crawford. I think Crawford's more buildable. Plus, he's American, which will help build that pay-per-view American money. But, I mean, as far as that's concerned, I really do think the fight's going to happen. But my question is now, is it one fight that he's coming back for, or is it multiple? Rudy, do you think he's going to come back for more than one fight, or is it just this is one last fight, one last grab at money? And then I'm out?
If he loses, should be his last fight. If he wins, Pacquiao wins, it literally becomes the sky's the limit for the guy. Fuck. Pacquiao has no business coming back to fight, but yet, the warrior in him, the fighting spirit in him is bringing him back. After that big old check he earned with the Mayweather fight, it's like, who would want to get back to us, musty ass him and possibly get being humiliated by a rising star in Terence Crawford. The guy's a fighter, you know what I mean? And definitely if he wins, shit, more doors open to him. But if he does lose, it'll probably be time to really hang him up.
A Pacquiao's fan dream is probably for Terence Crawford, Pacquiao to happen, and regardless, win or lose, then go on to fight the winner of Marquez Cotto, if that's still going to happen. We all want to see Marquez 5 after the knockout. We're all kind of like, come on, man, who's going to win again? We all kind of want to see it. I know it's happened multiple times, but come on, all of them have been good. All of them are good fights. Now this weekend we got Santa Cruz facing off against Frampton. That's going to be a good fight for however long it lasts. Rudy, what do you think about that fight?
It's a great fight. It's a fight that a lot of fans have been asking for. To be honest with you, it's a dangerous fight for both guys. We all know what Teramoto brings to the ring. We know what Frampton brings to the ring. They both have good pop. I think that I give the slighter edge to Santa Cruz, just the fact that the dude's relentless. He's relentless, he's accurate, and his style of fighting usually makes fighters fight his fight. But it's a great fight. I mean, it's a fight that I'm definitely waiting for.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are actually on Carl Frampton's side in this fight. Um, Smaller guy, shorter reach, and I think more than anything, it's the resume and the experience of Santa Cruz. Let alone, I mean, that dude's he's a machine, man. Those volume punches, and it's not just that they're volume. I mean, it's powerful.
Right.
But Hector, do you have any hope here for Carl Frampton pulling this out?
Yeah, I have hope for him. I'm not sure if I have him as favorite yet. I'm thinking that I might be picking him to win this fight. I think if Frampton can hurt Santa Cruz, and that's a big if because we really haven't seen Santa Cruz badly wobbled or really look vulnerable. But you know, Frampton has he has good footwork, he has good boxing skills, and he throws great combinations, and he has good power. So, you know, Santa Cruz's footwork has never been great. He's kind of stiff-legged, and he's, you know, he's not too creative defensively. You know, kind of does the earmuffs. So, I think if Frampton can hurt him and discourage him at all, he can definitely win the fight. So I think I would pick Frampton in this fight.
All right, Rob. We didn't get to Rudy's prediction, but I assume he's picking Santa Cruz. Let's go back to Rudy real quick for the prediction.
I just say I give Santa Cruz the edge, just with the fact that he's relentless. You know what I mean? The guy doesn't stop. He doesn't stop punching. Tell me a Santa Cruz fight where the dude takes a breather. Man, there's none.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just for that, I give him the edge. I mean. But, I mean, I agree with what Hector said. I mean, Frampton has the tools, even though he's going to be shorter, he has the tools to upset Santa Cruz. I just don't see it. I see Santa Cruz just being that relentless, you know, a volume puncher and shit. Like we see the judges. I mean, none of those punches could hit, but just because of the fact that he's out throwing this other guy, they'll give him the round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hard not to when you see over 1,000 punches just keep getting thrown and thrown and thrown. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's 2 for Santa Cruz because I'm definitely picking Santa Cruz. I actually don't think it's going to be that close of a fight. Kind of surprised Hector with Frampton. I'm saying Frampton gets knocked out within 5.
Yeah.
That's just myself. I think he's going to be hurting early. But
You just don't like real boxers, huh?
Rob.
Okay, here's the problem with Frampton. We really don't know what he's made of. Being that the guy doesn't like to go to war. We really haven't seen him go to war a lot. He likes to kind of sway away from the battles, and he wants to make it a technical bout. The problem with Santa Cruz is there's no avoiding war. And the issue there is he's more vulnerable to get caught with a nice shot from a power puncher. So I think the issue here is that Frampton is not going to want to take the fight to the street, so to speak, but it's going to be a war because that's the way Santa Cruz comes across. That's the way he comes forward. It's not going to be a technical bout. The issue with Santa Cruz is how good is he really? How good is his chin really? It's been tested, but he hasn't fought a serious power puncher. And he hasn't fought a guy with the tools like Frampton. So it sounds like, I don't know who to pick here in this one, and I'm going to surprise everybody. I'm going to go with Frampton. Reason being...
Yeah. Did you do it just to go 2-2? Is that what you're trying to do?
Reason being is because Santa Cruz is going to make it a war. thinking he's not in there with the powerful guy, a guy who has some serious tools in the tool shed, and Frampton's going to come out of nowhere and shock the world. And then, you know, what Lucas has been trying to say, which I've been avoiding this whole time, Santa Cruz really is just a PBC fighter.
You could say he already got some of these rounds in the pocket then.
Right? I mean,
You know what I mean?
that's off top.
Which is why I'm saying he's going to get caught, Rudy. He's going to get caught with a sucker punch. He's not going to see coming.
My only problem with this fight and some fights, I mean, I don't know. This is just me. Why can't they go to England and fight over there, to the UK? You know what I mean? It's like people say the money, but shit, isn't the pound more than the US dollar? I mean, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't make sense to me.
I would just like to see, you know, some of these fighters, like for example the Canelo fight or Santa Cruz. These are the A-side fighters. I mean, and you know how they all get criticized. Well, you already got the judges on the pocket. You blah 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 whatever. Give them that little, you know what I mean? Give them that little home turf. I mean, and shit. I think the victory in a foreign or in a hostile arena makes it even more credible, makes it even more joyful. You know what I mean? Now all the fights are here, which is great, but I would just would love to have seen that this Santa Cruz Frampton or Canelo Smith in England. I think that shit would have been awesome, and I just don't get it why everything has to be in Vegas.
Now Triple G is going to England. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Triple G is going.
Yeah, Triple G don't
Sure
give
is.
no damn. Triple G don't give no damn.
Exactly.
But
Triple
I
G could
agree.
fight in the fucking backyard and
Yeah, he
you know,
doesn't
let's
care.
make it happen. You know.
I'll see you in the alley in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
But no, I mean, fighters really need to listen to you, Rudy, because how else do you grow a fan base? I mean,
Exactly.
you
And
can
I
turn
hear
people's home turf against them. I mean,
I hear other
and-
people talking about, is the market, is the market, is the advertise. Fucking England is a massive boxing, you know, mecca. I mean, shit, the British fans are crazy. You know what I mean? It's not like they're gonna fight in fucking Afghanistan or somewhere where, you know, boxing isn't even watched. You know what I mean? It's the UK.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. America does not have that big of a boxing following. Mexico has an enormous following. UK is like second, probably. Canada's up there. But UK, like you said, I mean, they follow their fighters. They back their fighters. As long as you're a decent dude coming up through the UK, you got a built-in fan base. In America, it's not that way.
You're celebrity.
Right. In America, you have to put on some face or be a bad guy or, you know, a WWE character of some sort in order to make yourself a fan base. You have to create one.
Andre
not built
Ward.
in.
Andre Ward's a perfect example.
Very good.
How many people do you know that really know about Andre Ward? And he's won a gold medal. He's a world champ, or he was. I mean, crazy.
They'll know him soon enough.
Floyd didn't even have the gold medal, so sting a little bit, Rob.
Not at all, man. Floyd got like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. We don't need that gold medal. He'll buy one.
He probably will buy one from the winner of this year's. But back to the fight. Now, my question for you two siding with Frampton, to win, he's going to have to get inside. The man throws like 1,000,000 punches a fight. I mean, over 1,000. How are you going to get inside with your little short-ass arms? You have 62-inch reach versus 69-inch reach. How's he going to win this fight, guys? When do you please explain how you see it?
Because he is a very technically sound boxer. He's very technical, and Santa Cruz hasn't really fought anybody that's as technical or has a technical skill that Frampton does. And there's been guys who shouldn't have been able to get in and put welts on Santa Cruz's face that don't have any kind of boxing skills whatsoever. So if those guys can get in close, I know there will be a shining moment for Frampton.
See, you're leaving out the fact that he eats those punches. You don't see Santa Cruz like being juggled or anything. I mean, what he does is you're trying to be technical, and he's just throwing punches. So by the time you let your hands go, you're getting hit with something.
And
That's how many punches this dude is letting go. I mean, I still don't see any way in my mind that Carl Frampton can win.
you're correct. Let me interject real quick, Hector, though.
Go ahead.
Hector and Rudy, don't take offense to this, but correct me if I'm wrong. But he is primarily fighting other Mexican fighters, correct?
I mean, he has, but
So he really hasn't fought a guy from UK. He hasn't fought a fighter that's ready to come in and show a little defense. Everybody else is willing to stand in front of him.
Yeah,
So,
I
Rudy,
agree.
Sorry, Rudy.
He's not faced someone with the movement that Frampton can provide, and really as sharp as Frampton is offensively. Frampton has good boxing skills. He can move, he can punch. I agree with Rob that he's faced guys that are just willing to stand and trade with him, and even in some of the fights where he was supposed to knock a guy out, he's kind of looked mediocre, and he's made some guys that shouldn't be looking good look a lot better than they did just based on the fact that that's his only speed, But I do agree that he's relentless, man, and he throws an incredible amount of punches, man. That fight with
Quid.
no, with the last fight.
You talking about Santa Cruz?
Yeah, Santa Cruz's last fight. The Spanish guy, shaved head. Jeez. Martinez?
Oh, Martinez. Kiko Martinez, yeah.
Kiko Martinez, yeah. That fight, there was 1,000 punches thrown in 5 rounds, like something ridiculous like that. Like, yeah, that's crazy. But I think Frampton is going to, like I said, Santa Cruz is not hard to figure out. He comes straight forward. He doesn't really move around a lot. He doesn't slip a lot of punches. He's not the kind of guy who slips punches. So I think Frampton's going to be able to tag him quite a bit. So that's why for me, if Frampton's able to hurt him, to somehow, stop him in his tracks, he can win the fight.
okay. I mean, it's just Frampton he's been dropped by, the Alejandro Gonzalez, which is a lesser Mexican fighter, in my eyes. What's so funny, Rudy?
No, I mean, yeah, that was a point I was gonna make. I mean, there was a point where he almost got upset by La Cobrita Gonzalez. You know what I mean? Does anyone know who the fuck is La Cobrita Gonzalez? No, and Frampton almost got dealt with right there, and Gonzalez is nowhere near Santa Cruz. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's a great fight.
Obviously it has two different sides. I'm glad it's an actual 2-2. For a second there, I thought Rob was just kind of rolling with Frampton to roll with Frampton, but it's good to see because this is definitely going to play into next week's show. Look forward to seeing who wins this weekend for sure. But it's definitely a good fight. We both have our points, but we will see who wins. Do you guys have anything else to talk about? Any other topics you want to touch on?
Any of you guys excited for the? Isn't this is Mikey's comeback?
Yes, that's true.
Oh,
135, right?
Believe so.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to see how he looks, man. Everybody keeps talking like he's still one of those, you know, top fighters, you know, one of those special fighters. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see where he's at. I'm definitely excited to see. And is he signed with Mayweather?
I haven't heard anything official. I don't know.
Because I've been seeing Mayweather in the gym a lot in LA Sackback's videos, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what's
if
going on there?
you go to Robert's Instagram or Mikey's Instagram, they got pictures with Floyd there hugging the family, and it seems it's a done deal, but there's nothing official, at least that's been said. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has. They'll probably announce it whenever he wins.
Yeah, honestly, good for him, man. He's gonna get paid, so.
He said whenever he wins, like it's already done.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, who is the guy fighting though? Do you guys know who he's fighting? I don't even know who he's fighting.
Elio Rojas. He's 24-2.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
But no, I mean it's.
I
agree.
It's understandable. The dude has like 3 years not fighting. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to fight a top 135 pounder. I mean, it's understandable. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure this fight is it's for Mikey to just say, hey, I'm back. I got power at 135. Let's make it happen.
It's almost 2 years to the day that his last fight was, and even for that nobody knows, still, I mean, somewhat of a dangerous fight. I mean, you gotta fight somebody that's like 10-10, you know,
Right.
on an untelevised thing, and hopefully nobody catches wind that you're fighting him. So I'm looking forward just to see how he looks, to see if we can go ahead and throw him in the topics of other decent fights. But oddly enough, I don't have any record of what this fight is signed for. That's weird.
There's an interview that's online where the reporter is asking Mikey if he's willing to fight Pacquiao or Garcia or Thurman, and Mikey gave a pretty great answer. I mean, Mikey pretty much, and this is something that I like about him. I mean, the guy's smart. You know, he knows he's not just a fighter. You know, he understands what this pro boxing is about, and he pretty much stated, if I move up right now to fight those guys, I'm stealing from the fans. He's like, there's a lot of fights that I could fight at 135, maybe even 140. Why do I need to, look in the welterweight division right now? And he pretty much made it seem like, he's ready to take over boxing in his terms. You know what I mean? And I'm excited. I'm excited to see him fight again. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely look forward to it. One thing to me though about that whole Mayweather alliance, man, this is so strange for me, especially.
I didn't want to bring it up, man.
You know what it is, right?
It's so weird. He had so much hate for him with the fights that they have, and then all of a sudden he's just best friends hugging him and shit.
Well, it's the allegiance to the hatred of Top Rank. That's really what it is now. They both had issues with Bob Arum. They both hate Top Rank. Floyd might have helped the youngster out and gave him some insight on how Bob Arum works.
Bradley, Pacquiao, and Crawford are pretty much single-handedly holding Top Rank together. They don't really have a whole lot left, as far as superstars go, anyway.
Right.
And people like Garcia.
What about Valdez?
Well,
yeah, you're right.
He definitely looked pretty good.
He looked pretty damn good.
I think everybody opened their eyes for that one. We actually didn't talk about that fight, but running out of time here, guys.
All right.
Unfortunately.
I think everybody disconnected. So.
Yeah.
Hey, Rudy, I got a question for you, buddy.
All right.
At which point do you begin to hate Crawford?
I don't hate him. He's the guy's special. I mean, I like the personality he has right now. You know what I mean? And I think that he should stick to that, because I don't want to get too deep in. You know what I mean? With the whole race issues and everything, because I mean, let's face it. the way pro boxing is, they want to make black fighters unlikable by them talking all smack and everything. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why Andre Ward is nowhere to be seen. You know what I mean? Because the guy is truthful to what he is. You know, when we see Andre Ward, we're seeing Andre Ward. We're not seeing this like, you know, celebrity. We're not seeing this fake person. Oh, look at me, hate me. You know what I mean? If Floyd did it because that's what he wanted to do, more power to him. But I think I like Crawford, and I don't think he should be changing anything. The dude is showing that he's gonna be a master in the ring. You know what I mean? Yeah, he starts out slow, he gets hit, blah blah blah. But I mean, Crawford is something special, and to be honest with you, I don't. Why would I hate him, Rob? Come on, man. I live in South LA.
I will say this, man. He doesn't talk a lot, but he's a mean dude.
Exactly.
Crawford is a mean dude. Like, you can tell, like, before fights and during fights, like, he's a mean guy in that ring. So, yeah, I like him.
Definitely a future superstar, guys. Looking forward to see whoever he fights next. And personally, I do think it will be Pacquiao. But I'm going to wrap up this episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, our special guest, Francisco Santana. Look to see you all again next week. Same time, same place. Now stream live to YouTube. Check us out also, heavybagboxing.com. Thank you. Have a good night.